Alrighty.
Yeah, so we should be live in just a second. Bring the last of the things up. Right, and it says that we're live, so hopefully we are. Hello everyone, I'm Jay Tolmar. I'm joined today by Fly Eagles Fly 72. And today we have another race for the PK Scramble Sidekick Scramble tournament. We're just gonna get everyone ready to go, and we should be starting pretty shortly. How are you doing, Eagles?
Doing pretty good, Jay Tomer. Just excited for this race between two good teams. I've raced against Charging Charles, Attack Slug, and Nest Rocker before, so looking for a good match tonight.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Most of these runners have been in the PK Scramble community for quite a bit. Slamfax, I believe, was just pulled in by Charging Charles as a just for this tournament, and has gotten a lot better over the course of the qualifiers alone. Hello everyone in chat, I'm glad to see you could all make it. I'm going to go ahead and let the runners know that we are ready for their countdowns, and I think we'll be good to start shortly. Oh, and we're already starting.
Like a good start.
There we go. It looks
Started
like
on that.
on its start, it is different than if it wasn't randomized. In random starts, there's a police barricade up where it would be at the very start of the game, so you can't get to Ness's house and the meteor and stuff like that until a little bit later.
Ooh, got the key to the shack at the library, so that opens up a sanctuary.
This is a very early game vanilla kind of seed so far. I want to see if I can get everyone synced up a little bit better, though they are very, very close already. You know what? I don't think it's worth it. It's within a second. Good job, everyone. So, for anyone who's not familiar with PK Scramble already, this is an Earthbound key item randomizer. That means that, as you saw, where the Shyness book should be, there was the key to the shack. Where the pack of bubblegum should be, there was the pack of bubblegum, which, as you can tell, is randomized. And then on top of that, we have random starting locations on this flag set. So they started in on it, which is, as you can tell, randomized. But also over in the Sharks area, we have one of the Starmen bosses and Frank instead of Frank and Frankenstein. The kids will be joining in different places. They're all shuffled together. We have a thing called Progressive Enemy Shuffle enabled, which means that the order of enemies will be in the order that the game logically expects you to be in. So you can see in not Deep Darkness, Lost Underworld, there were some crows and sharks. So we know that this is what the seed thought was going to be early on in the seed.
Yeah, so with this is a 2 versus 2 tournament. So it's not the first person that gets done and the timer stops. They have to help their partner out to get through this and get a decent time. So time stops when your partner finishes.
Yep. It's completely based on second to finish on your team. Yeah, we already have 2 sanctuaries, and it looks like we're seeing people from... It looks like Team Noodle, they're both doing Fire Spring first. And then Charging Charles is doing Giant Step. The first and last sanctuaries in vanilla, so that's nice and different than what you'd start with normally. I haven't seen what their starting teleports were yet, did you?
I saw Winters. I just didn't see that third one.
I think the third one might have been Lost Underworld then. So
yeah, there we go. Lost Underworld.
Yeah, oh, that's actually 3 sanctuaries then, because they got that pack of bubblegum. So yeah, this is, as Kaylin's saying, this seed appears to be Neume. They just need one more sanctuary. This could be, hypothetically, that Ness-only seed. Was that you or Pink Panther who was looking for one of those?
Pink Panther was looking for one. I actually did a nest only seed today, and it was just happened out of the blue. I got two sanctuaries, and when I got the second sanctuary, it opened up the third and found the fourth, and I was like, might as well just go nest only.
Yeah, well, we could have a very fast seed if that happens here. It could also just be that the fourth sanctuary is behind Stonehenge. You never know. Um, so they're going to have a little bit of wading through stuff to figure out what that last one is.
Boogie Tent was the boss for the Fire Spring Sanctuary.
Wow, I didn't even
Tax
see
Slug took that down.
Yep, Nest Rocker's on it now too. So for the flag set, we already mentioned that it has random starts and progressive enemy shuffle. In addition to the other Dr. Saturn's Choice standards, there are those are Dr. Saturn's Choice standard flags, which that flag set also has Shop Sanity 1, which means every shop in the game will have one item that is not within its standard categories. It has Limit Mice, which means every exit mouse that you find, you only can get that one once. Return Mice, which replaces exit mice with return mice, which we'll explain if we see them. And finally, no Gygus, but Magic Ant is required. So what that means is that we're going to be hitting 4 sanctuaries, then going to Magic Ant, beating that boss, and then you're done. And as Eagle's already mentioned, second partner to beat that Magic Ant boss is your time. So we're looking to cooperate with your teammate. It's full information sharing. Figure out the fastest way to get there for the both of you. In addition to the standard Dr. Saturn's flags, this week of tournaments, we have a 100% attack shuffle. So you really don't know what enemies are going to do. Only a few of their stats actually are still there.
So it's looking like happy Chappies are going to the Fire Spring Sanctuary, so that way they can get that first one down.
Yeah, did you see if Charging Charles finished off Giant Step?
I thought I'd seen them just open the shack and leave. That's what I thought I seen.
Interesting. Looks like Team Noodle might be a little bit ahead then. Oh, I see. Charging Charles probably decided to back out of Giant Step. It looks quite deep in logic, given the UFOs that Tax Slug has seen. I guess those are... What is this cute little UFO? Was that... Mines? Desert?
Yeah, I believe they are in the desert, or they are after the pyramid, right before Dungeon Man.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to be the... I don't know which one of these either, but given that they just got a great charm, I think it's probably the earlier of those. Thank you, Rizakun. Yeah, so this is first desert. Still a little spicy this early.
So it's looking like little UFOs. So it's looking like they may have Happy Valley enemies in Giant Step.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen anyone finish off the sharks yet either. I'm kind of surprised. It looks like both teams are just going Sanks first. And also we got the zombie paper hint, which is very unlikely to be relevant, but it says that it is the Venus item.
So everybody does different things here. Some players, some teams, they find everything to get 4 sanctuaries. Other teams, once they get a sanctuary, go right on. So it's like up to whatever you or your partner want to do to see where key items could be. So it's like really randomized of which way you go and guide your partner to get to the correct way.
Yeah, and there's definitely kind of a stylistic choice, and different runners will make those decisions differently. I know Charging Charles is very much in favor of holding off the sanctuaries until last and hoping that you have enough levels that stuff runs away from you. But it looks like he's deviating from that a little bit. Could have just seen some spooky enemies in one of the levels. Probably some sort of reason behind that. That Starman Jr. fight is quite nasty.
Ooh, and he's got the ability to put a ghost on you.
Yeah. Watch as only Charging Charles even sees that attack, and no one else knows that it has that grossness. Meanwhile, Slamfax is the first to be checking the arcade. Looks like Tucson Berglund Park enemies. So this is probably logically before Giant Step.
Ooh. Frank is the Frankenstein boss, and Charging Charles just took like a death to that.
Oh, jeez. If you take a death to the second boss there, the game does remember, and you skip to the second one. So, not so bad, you can pick that up. It looks like Slamfax also is picking up that ghost on the way. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of wipes at Frank boss.
Looking like for the Giant Step Sanctuary, it's Trillion Sprout, and he's got Gygus attacks.
That's a little spooky. Trillion Sprout is already a nasty one, though it's mostly his attack script. Though that's also Freeze. Yeah, this is a mean Sprout. I think Freeze is probably the scariest attack, even after scaling, that you can get. And that's Death for Slug.
Now, the one good thing with the PK Scramble is you can have your text set up to really fast, where your rolling HP can help you out, where you don't have to button mash too much. You just start hitting it, and you can life up with maybe 16, 17 HP instead of the normal game where you have to do it like with 23, 24 HP.
Oh yeah, I found out well after implementing that in the original game, there's a table of how fast the HP is supposed to roll down, and it rolls down more slowly the slower your text is to like compensate for it. And I did not do that at all, so you get only fast texts or roll down. It's not faster because you have instant text. It definitely works out in your favor. Looks like Slug's gonna be doing our first tour to Winters. We get to see Tessie. Everyone, please get your favorite MS Paint Beast emotes or puns ready.
And it's looking like Charging Charles. He took down Frank, so going to run to the mayor's office to get the key item.
Looks like it's the Eraser. He's gonna be glad that he checked that before heading over to Winters, though maybe not glad at all to see the item in the first place. Rizu setting us off strong on awful MS Paint Beast puns. Looks like you've got one of the emotes. What is that?
Yeah, that is.
We both got one.
I made that one myself. Since I'm Fly Eagles, figure make a green one wearing glasses. So I was like, let's do that.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's like every time I watch runners, whether it be PK Scramble or even regular Earthbound, they do that. Gotta send the Tessie out to them. Now, the one key thing in PK Scramble, we don't have skip sandwiches. We got repel sandwiches, and what repel sandwiches do is it repels the monsters in any like caves or paths that you're taking. So depending on which repel sandwich you get, that does help you out. So you'll see a lot of the runners checking bakeries to see where repel sandwiches are. Like you see Charging Charles is getting the repel sandwiches from the bakery and on net.
Yeah, he just fully filled up on them. I saw him dropping a lot of items to fill up on those. Those have pretty much become meta-defining, is getting as many of those as you can.
So if you're looking, you can see Nest Rocker and Attack Slug are doing two different ways. Attack Slug is going to Winners to go try to do that sanctuary, and Nest Rocker is trying to fight the Frank battle. So that's where the deviation between both runners do, where you're communicating with your partner like, hey, I'm going to go check this. Are you checking this part? So as long as they work together and they see if it pays off, they'll communicate that with each other.
Yeah, normally that sort of split is really advantageous. We haven't seen much of it yet in this race, but I think Attack Slug and Nest Rocker are going to be running into some trouble because neither of them have finished the Frank fights, and as we already found out, that is the Eraser. So if that's necessary, they are signing up for a double dip. That said, there's only one Sank required, so they could just get lucky and not have to deal with it. Sorry, only one more Sank required. They have 3 unlocked.
All right, we got the happy Chappies taking the Tessie ride now,
Yeah, we
and
have
Nest Rocker left on that to go to Winners now, and he's also doing the Tessie ride.
and nobody has mice or access to mice yet. That is correct, Creator.
And if the happy Chappies do the Eraser, they might be the first ones to get the mice.
Yeah, that's not the place you want to find mice. Since they're return mice, they'll only take you somewhere that you have been to with a mouse before. So they probably all have the entire walk out of Stonehenge in front of them. People may be excited to know that I am well on my way to an abbreviated Dungeons flag that considerably shortens that one. I don't know if it'll be standard, but it will be an option.
So taking a look at Pond Cave, seeing ducks as the enemies, so might be an easy boss up ahead.
Yeah, most likely. I think they've probably already seen stuff deeper than this. It always is a little bit weird trying to figure out what those Jeff Quest enemies are, like how deep into the scaling. Just because they kind of get mixed in with Tucson and Onit enemies, because Jeff goes through so many levels as you go. What was that item? Pencil eraser.
Ooh.
That is good, but they don't have access to any way they can use it yet. So it does look like that a Stonehenge is going to be required.
Tack Slug taking advantage of the vitalizing machine to get her health back up.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Might have been setting up a death warp there too. Since it is so long to get back down here, if you can save at the phone, do whatever it is that you need that leads to you coming back there, and then just find something to kill you, that can be a lot faster than a Tessie ride.
Ooh, vanilla shroom.
Vanilla shroom. That's a strange combination of flavors. And he has scalding hot espresso. Brain
And
shock.
he's got the ability to give you a cold too.
Yeah, it's a beam that causes nighttime stuffiness, it looks like. So a lot of status effects, true to shroom form, but looks like Tack Slug didn't really have any trouble with it. And Slug's gone on the sink. This is a pretty zoomy seed. We're only 16 minutes in, and that is the third sanctuary I've seen done. I don't think anyone has 3 yet, but that'll be happening very shortly.
Nest Rocker starting the shroom battle.
Shroom battle. Oh, it also has a hacking cough. So that's a beam that causes nighttime stuffiness and let loose with a hacking cough. It just really wants to give you a cold.
Now, just because you see Team Noodle has got both of them got 2 sanctuaries done, it's still anybody's game. Like the randomizer could change anything. You go in one spot, you could run into so many deaths, or you could just take completely the wrong way. So we'll see if the happy Chappies do the eraser after this sanctuary.
Yeah, I think they have to. I don't know if there's any other checks even open. It looks like this whole thing is kind of getting bottlenecked into a required Stonehenge. Slug's going to the burger shop. A little vanilla. Oh, I just noticed that Slamfax has Simpson-themed names. I'm gonna have to add both of their name sets to the random name sets. And Nest Rocker found the register your meme. He hates something. Is it me?
I hate Tony.
Oh no, he hit Slug! Tragedy. Alright, and it looks like there are moles in this cave, so that makes it Mole Cave, which is another dungeon that nobody likes.
with all those repel sandwiches, he should Happy should get through. The Happy Chappies should follow right through and use those repel sandwiches to make it easy to get through this stone hedge.
Yeah, there's only one spawn tile in that room, so I imagine neither of them were expecting to need to start up on them already. But yeah, heading into the second room, it looks like repels all the way.
And as you see, Ness Rocker did teleport. He was near a high level enemy, so using teleport can help you get through those enemies. That is a common thing that speedrunners of the regular Earthbound use when they're running glitchless or non-manipulation or manipulation. They'll use that towards like the end game where they got bad enemies and they're low level to get through them.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things with PK Scramble, especially watching longtime Earthbound speedrunners come into it, you start the game with teleport. So you kind of have this muscle memory of after you unlock teleport, you start doing all of these teleport dodges. But in PK Scramble, since you have it from the beginning, you can teleport dodge enemies coming up the mountain. In On It, you can do them in Peaceful Rest Valley, all sorts of places you wouldn't in vanilla. So it takes a little bit of getting used to having the access to that all game long.
I know for me, just running the game and then coming to PK Scramble, it was like hard for me to remember. Check your teleport locations once you start. So that was a key thing I had to keep looking at.
Aw, looks like Attack Slug and Nest Wrecker have matching memes. Very good. It's always good when people humor the meme prompt. And Charging Charles is into the part of Stonehenge that is less awful. Personally, I think this room of Stonehenge could just be a little bit longer. We could just get rid of the rest. This room is much cooler than that weird blue intestine stuff. And here's the return mice. So on this flag set, you have return mice instead of exit mice. That's actually just going to be a pain in the butt this time. Return mice, you set a location, and then the mouse will take you back to that location whenever you want. And because they have not had access to them until they got in here, they've not had the ability to set a location until they got all the way in here. If they're doing heads-up plays, they'll probably set a return mouse location before the boss, just in case it is something horribly spicy. But we are looking on the Walk of Shame coming back out of here.
Yeah, and that's not fun, taking that long walk.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe pick up some of the items you missed from there, trying to go with some sort of silver lining.
It's like Team Noodle is now starting the Frank fight again. Hopefully they got enough levels to keep going and get it done.
It looks like Charging Charles did remember to set a return mouse before this Everdread fight, which is particularly a heads up, because normally you see Everdread and you're just like, this is free, but with Attack Shuffle, Everdread is no more free than any other boss, though it looks like he was actually as free as he normally is.
Now, Everdread had the attacks that the clocks do in Moonside, where they stop music. So, good thing in PK Scramble is you have the ability to randomize the music that's played during battles, towns, anywhere. Well, when they stop the music, next thing you know, it goes back to regular battle music.
Oh yeah, the coding in that is just very lazy. They didn't say, go look up the music this is supposed to be and put that back on. It just stops the music and then plays that specific song.
The best part is when you're in a boss theme and it's playing a certain music and then it goes back to a regular battle music. That's the fun part.
Oh yeah, if you have them as like a backup to a actual boss, then it's like...
So it looked like the Tony item from Stonehenge was the Tendacrout. So looking like Happy Chappies will head back down to the Lost Underworld to turn that in and see what warp location they'll get.
Yeah, and that warp logically has to give them progression since they were bottlenecked there. What do you think it's going to be?
I'm thinking Dalam.
Yeah,
oh,
okay.
Man, thanks.
Yeah, we're in sync. Yeah, Dalam would make a lot of sense, because that would give you a kid check and possibly straight into a sanctuary. 3 is also fairly likely. It does tend to prefer places that give you a kid.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the way this is going, it's either gonna if it's either Dalam or 3 getting the kid, it's either gonna be Jeff or Pooh because they tend to have a key item with them.
Yeah, they always have a key item with them. And that is why they tend to be the first ones that the rando gives you, is because it's looking for a way to get you a key item. And we got some crested bukas. You know, since that is Thundercloud, I just realized that this is actually a Spinosaur seed. It's a very popular thing to have happen, but I didn't see anybody. Didn't see anybody actually go trigger that cutscene. Charging Charles's meme is ass, as it always is.
Like Attack Slug using that Death Warp from saving it at the lab in winter, so that way easy to get the stone hedge right away.
Yeah, did she actually pull that off? And it looks like Slimefax has a meme. Sass. Ooh, another nice team combo. I like it. Alright, we have gotten to...
Summers.
Oh no. Did Slug forget to pick up her eraser?
Ooh.
Ooh, indeed.
Oh, and Nest Rocker trying to get the red swirl ends up getting a green swirl.
It's the exact opposite swirl. Yeah, it looks like Slug forgot to go check Perkle. I would do it too. And it looks like the teleport is Summers, which is basically just like wait and get another teleport. Because there's nothing here except that teleport check and some shops.
Got to make that walk to get the phone number to Club Static, so that way you can get in there.
Yep. It looks like Deathstalker's doing a classic Earthbound speedruns move and using the ATM card when you're trying to get yourself offed. That's a good way to not accidentally kill an enemy that could be hurting you. And he has pulled off the Death Warp. Hopefully he has that eraser on hand. Meanwhile, Charging Charles is finding that the items in the expensive shop and the cheap shop are basically the same. So you definitely want the cheap versions of those.
And UFOs keep running away from Slug as she tries to get to them.
Yep, and they look like they've got a lot of... Oh, she's also ATM carding. She knows how it's done. It looks like a lot of flash and stuff. She might need to find a more threatening set of enemies. Yeah, she's running away because they can't kill her.
That's the one thing. Run away, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, it is very swingy. And Attack Slug found that same pack of bukas. Since there's 2 of them, no matter how strong Ness is, you will not be able to get the instant kill on them. Because there's only one of him and there's 2 of them.
Magic Cake Lady had to teleport to Tucson.
Tucson.
This is looking like it's going to be a slow. This is going to be looking like it's a solo Ness.
Yeah, it is.
That's the 4th sanctuary.
Yeah,
They got
4th.
the pencil eraser.
Yeah, that's interesting. So if you're in this situation, would you check the Cabin Kid item?
I would, just in case if it's like Franklin badge, maybe, because you never know with the enemies attacks being swapped around. You never know what the boss is going to be at the sanctuaries, if they have thunder or not.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm also thinking to check it because they might have the cabin key and just locked themselves in there. And, you know, solo nest is fun, but having an extra kid is twice as much damage potential. I think it logically actually has to be... Wait, that's not true. Cabin kid item has to logically be something useful.
So, taking a look to see what Apple Kid's got. He's got the key to the cabin, so we got the second character.
There you go. I forgot that Apple Kid was an open check. It's interesting that they stopped to do it. Because it is go mode, but that extra kid is going to be useful. Looks like we have a Repel Sandwich restock for Charging Charles. Makes a lot of sense.
You see, Charging Charles is cleaning his inventory up just to get room for those repel sandwiches.
He really likes those sandwiches. Alright, Netrocker's almost done with the trip into Stonehenge. Of course, he'll have one on the way out too, because it's a pretty trolly seed. And Hackslug is, I think, almost done with the intestine rooms.
Like Slamfax is also stocking up on those repel sandwiches, so we should have a clean run right to Happy Happy.
Yeah, and this is the home turf of the Happy Happy Chappies, so I think they're in good shape.
Ooh, Red Swirl Blushing.
Netrunner is just getting spammed by stream alerts. Speaking of Happy Happy, it looks like those are Happy Happy enemies up ambushing Attack Slug.
Looking like it's 3 enemies on the way to Happy Happy Valley.
Yeah, everything's shuffled around in this randomizer. It's funny how that happens. But 3 enemies are not very deep. This is definitely a zoomy seed. Typically on a 4 Sanctuary progressive enemies seed, you're looking at getting all the way up to like Scramble level enemies before the end. But this has been very quick. We've quite a ways until that deep.
Nest Rocker just knocked out Everdread. Now he's going to go pick up the item from Tony.
Yeah, he's going to have a sequence of fetch quests. As we know, that's Tentacrout into Summers into the Tucson Teleport before you get anything. Treasure Charles is setting Return Mouse as soon as he gets in the Happy Happy Village. Does not want to forget that. Can't blame him. And he will be picking up that kid. It's extra firepower unless it's a teddy bear.
Car Painter, the boss for the shop outside in Happy Happy.
Yeah, he's not too far off of his vanilla spot, but seems to be demoted a little bit.
So the key thing there is you go to the sign, you get items, but if you don't pay nothing, and once you get done and you walk away, then all of a sudden that enemy will attack you to try to take you out because you're stealing.
Yeah, there is an enemy in vanilla who will do that, but you actually have to go up and talk to him, and he's very weak. So having a boss there is a little spicier. Also allows us to have one more boss in the pool, which is good, because that lets us have Starman Jr., everyone's favorite.
Jeff was the kid in the cabin. I missed what he had first, but I know he has the meteorite piece on him.
Interesting. That's not useful, but Jeff probably... Well, if they find a weapon, Jeff is at least damage. And if they don't, he's at least inventory space.
Tiny Ruby.
Tiny Ruby.
He gave the Tiny Ruby.
Tiny Ruby is useful, but they are in go mode, so it's not going to be too useful.
Charging Charles doing the save, so that way in case if he does die in the cave, he can easily go right back to there.
He's that and the return mouse. He has 2 ways. And he finds a Jeff item right away. That sounds pretty good to go. He has to check whether a laser gun or a trick yo-yo is better. I can't blame him. Also, I didn't notice that he put on the trick yo-yo. A lot of runners will just never use the yo-yos, even if it is a good yo-yo versus nothing. So, very good of him to actually bother to do it, and even better to end up not having to use it at all.
Yeah, I'm one that does not like using yo-yos or slingshots because when you get into battle and you do like auto battle or you're trying to attack, you have that chance of missing with those items.
Yeah, and the miss chance on those is pretty high. There is a reason why people dislike them. But I would definitely prefer a similar offense, like a slightly weaker weapon that doesn't have that miss chance. But yeah, you definitely want to use a good yo-yo instead of your bare hands. And that is Master Bell. She went straight in with the BBR. That's a nice thing about Jeff. He always starts with that bottle rocket. Usually it's a big bottle rocket. In Extended PSI Shuffle, it's some other item, of course. And that is 4th sync for Charging Charles.
Slamfax is right behind Charging Charles to get that sanctuary completed.
Yeah, they're pretty closely synced up. Apologies for the siren sound. I live next door to a fire station. Attack Slug and Nest Rocker are catching up, though it does look pretty happy Chappy right now.
Now they're on the way to Annette to complete the sanctuary there.
Oh, did they already? Oh, they already did that one for some reason. Hard to keep track when there's 4 of them.
Yeah, I thought Charging Charles left that sanctuary.
Yeah, I don't know if he went back. Looks like he's just here for repels. He's been very on top of those. We'll probably know whether he's doing Giant Step based on how many he gets. It looks like he does have to do Giant Step, because he would only pick up 3 if it was just Magic Ant Spiral.
I think all the racers had an issue with Giant Step, so that's why they just skipped it and went on to winners to try to complete that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think Team Noodle actually finished it though, didn't they? I could be wrong.
I don't remember. I know they were getting a tough time there.
Yeah, I saw a lot of tough times, and I don't remember whether anyone finished it. We'll have to pay attention when they get to the boss and see if this is actually 4th Sanctuary. I guess since these are desert enemies and the way up to Happy Village was 3 enemies, these are probably the deepest.
Well, see, a lot of times right out to the shack, it is like you could have like desert enemies out there, but then once you get into Giant Step, the enemies are weaker. So there's that rare chance that you get good grind levels up there, so that way you're set for the whole seed.
Well, how that would happen? That might be a bug. These enemies do look a little weaker. I guess those were... Yeah, they do look weaker. I don't know how that would have happened. Alright. And this is 3rd Zank, so it does explain a little bit why it's kind of spicy. And Trillion Sprout, of course, is awful. Always. That's the Gygus Wasted Turn, though. That's not so bad.
Jeff crying, so crying he can miss, but Charging Charles finished off Trillion Sprout.
Yep, and I believe that's 4th Zank. I don't know which one he would have missed. So
yeah, that's the 4th Zank for them because they hit Winters, but this is actually the 3rd Zank because the 4th Zank is right in Happy Valley.
Yeah, I mean 4th they did, and yes, he did just learn how to teleport to Magic Ant, so he's on his way to the end of the game. It's very easy to get out of here. You can teleport as soon as you get to that interstitial area. Reason you might be right, but it shouldn't be.
While Charging Charles is taking that away, good time for, if you guys haven't, follow the runners. These are some good runners of PK Scramble, so take a chance, send a follow their way. They are great runners. They participate in races all the time. The daily challenges that we have for this, shoot them all a follow.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple of these runners have slightly different names on Twitch. Charging Charles is Black Sesame Seed, and Attack Slug is Attack Slug 1. If you all would like to follow people, just give me a second, and let me go ahead and just put everyone's Twitch names in instead, so you can go hunt them down.
Ooh, Slamfax is having trouble with Trillion Spout.
Trillion Ninja Spout. Can't blame him. That's a mean boss. Got freeze. Hopefully he beats the fight. Ooh. Nope, doesn't look like you're gonna get it. So that will be a run back for Slamfax and a little bit of a chance for Team Noodle to catch up.
Ooh, and he's got to save all the way back in Winters, but at least he's at the lab, so he can easily get Jeff lifed up without stopping at the hospital.
Oh yeah, that's actually the fastest heal location in the game for like places you could save and have your revive. Anywhere else that has one of those free total revives has more screen transitions involved than that specific spot. As we've got a lot of Noodle fans in chat, you're gonna have to fan pretty hard because they are a little bit behind right now.
It's looking like Charging Charles, also known as Black Sesame Seed on Twitch, he picked up the teddy bear in Magicant, so he's got that. And seeing the shop in Magicant had flame pendants, I didn't see if he picked up any, but that's something good to have because if the final boss has fire, that will take the damage down to like 1, 2 around there, like 1 or 2 HP away from you, so that will help you out in the final boss battle.
Mm-hmm. And soon we're going to see who that final boss battle is. If anyone in chat wants to try to guess, you have very little time remaining. I think it's going to be Frankenstein. It's close.
Can't tell who's in the water.
Something short's in the water. And it looks like
the robot.
The robot is open to paralysis. If any of these paralysis land, then it's just to kind of mash your way through. Well, I say that, but it is attack shadow, so if there's any psychic attacks, this will not be as free as it normally is. Clumsy Robot actually has the longest attack script of any enemy in the game, has 9 attacks. Most bosses have 6, most regular enemies have 4, and Black Sesame Seed is through.
Alright. Black Sesame Seed got the win against them?
Yeah, first through, you win. So yeah, since this is a 2v2 tournament, what really matters is the second finish from each team. So Happy Chappies is now still in the lead, but it is Slamfax's time that matters, because Charging Chargles has already finished.
Looking like Team Noodle did not complete on net because Attack Slug is teleporting on net to complete that.
Yeah, and that is a shame. If they had already done it, then they'd be neck and neck with Slamfax. 41-16. That is a speedy seed, though not as speedy as it was looking at the start.
Slamfax is now in Magicant. Did not stop at the store, so Charging Chargers must have told him, hey, you don't need to get the items, just go straight to the end.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. We didn't see anything that would get through paralysis. Didn't see anything that sketchy looking even without paralysis. So with those repel sandwiches, this should just be a nice clean trip over. So just notice that Team Noodle did not decide to pick up Jeff. I don't think they checked Everdread at all. That might be faster because they didn't have to do those extra couple of checks, or it might be slower because they just have less damage output all through the last 2 sanctuaries in Magicant.
Yeah, it looks like they didn't do the Apple Kid check. That's who had the key to the cabin, so they just might want to be doing a solo nest run.
Yeah, it makes sense. I was a little surprised that Charging Charles checked that Apple Kid check, though I think it was slightly ahead, so it's just kind of getting info while your partner is behind in case it's useful. But yeah, without that Jeff, these fights will be a little spicier for them.
Now, the one thing, you see, Slamfax still has his big bottle rocket, but the Clumsy Robot, the big bottle rocket, misses mostly all the time, so you don't want to use that on him.
Yeah, Clumsy Robot is one of the fastest enemies in the game, and Slamfax is through. That is going to be GG. It looks like the Happy Chappies have won. I was going to try to come up with a funny pun off of Happy Chappies, but I didn't have one. So, good game, Chappies. We're going to see if they want to do a interview while the other team finishes up. Hello, it looks like you joined before I could even invite you. Congrats on the run.
No, I know the drill.
I know the drill.
Slamfax is here as well.
Oh, welcome aboard, Charging Charles and Slamfax. How do you feel about that run?
I could see how, I don't know where Nest and Slug are at, but that was a possible solo Nest seed easy. Key to the cabin was just serendipity. I don't know if it made a huge difference, but
Yeah, we were
at least
talking,
in a damage sponge.
yeah,
Good
we were
routing
talking
with
about it a little
finding
bit.
the eraser racer before going to Winters, and then other than the sad missed input where I accidentally tried to run from Trillinotch Sprout, that was unfortunate.
Oof.
Oh wow.
I missed that.
It
Yeah.
wound up in a death and lost me 2 minutes, but that's all right.
Getting that
Eraser
Thank
most
you.
likely.
Yes, getting that eraser turned out to be pretty crucial. Team Noodle both did the Winters dip before getting through Frank, so they
And
both
it could have been mitigated by leaving a save point.
Yeah, they actually both
That's
death
that.
warped over there.
Okay.
But
It
yeah.
probably would have been faster because they would have been stronger for Frank and Starman Jr.
Oh, it can't be that much faster because it looks like you won.
That's also true.
So what made you guys not do Giant Step as the third sanctuary and just go straight to Tucson when you had that path?
Well, I saved Giant Step for a possible whoever cabin kid was. If it was something like Paula, where I figure, hey, getting her levels might benefit us later on, I would probably say, hey, let's leave a return mouse in Happy, warp back to Onett, take the easier sank for the experience, and then come back when Paula's maybe a little stronger to try and do sank 4. It seemed to be that's probably a 6 of one, half dozen of the other routing, but it just gave Paula perhaps a little bit of boost. But when it was just Jeff, no one cares about Jeff. So
Yeah, wow, that is some complicated logic. I am pretty impressed. And yeah, Jeff has 2 jobs. Use whatever weapon you give him and fire that one BBR.
yeah, so like when I hit that BBR on he was 4th sank, and I hit bar for 470 and it killed him. And so I told Slam, like, just save the big BR and just auto fight through, because we were bashing close to 100 each hit with the trick yo-yos. So
Yeah.
It turned out we got the one final boss that we couldn't use the bottle rocket. I did it anyway out of spite.
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, and I was just thinking to myself, like, hopefully it's Mondo Mole or Clumsy Robot. It's always nice when you see those, all the kind of preparation what ifs. You know, I saved the return mouse to leave there in case it was something unfriendly, but you know, once you see either of those 2 bosses, it's go mode, and the only fear is possible attack shuffle where you throw Starstorms at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the attack shuffle could make Clumsy Robo not such a dork versus paralysis. Though one of the things we were mentioning is that Clumsy Robot actually has the longest attack script in the game, so who knows what attacks are in there. It looks like Slug just got through, and Nesrock will be shortly behind.
Nice, that's pretty close.
Yeah, the only thing that seemed to get through was Magnet Omega. I didn't see any other psychic attacks that happened.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That doesn't mean they weren't there, I suppose, but
Yeah, there's 9 whole slots, so who knows. All right, well,
it looks like Slug and Ness have both finished.
yeah, that is everyone. GG,
That's
everyone.
team unity being 6 seconds apart.
Yeah, that's pretty good. There have been a lot of those like super synced up finishes, especially as we've gotten further into this tournament.
Yeah, I know myself and Panther, we finished at the same exact time. I was like shocked to see that.
That's very nice. All right, well, that is everyone. We're gonna have more of these races next week. We have one more hopefully this week, possibly tomorrow. A little bit up in the air. Could be same time or slightly later. But we'll try to keep everyone posted with when these are coming. This is a single elimination tournament. We have 3, 4. I should have tried to do math live on stream. We have some number of races remaining before it's up. So I hope everyone can continue joining us as we watch these wonderful runners play some PK Scramble.
All right, thanks to Omar. Thanks, Eagles. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for the run.
Dude,
Thanks for
good
stopping in.
game.
And thank
Good
you.
game. Happy Chappies.
Yeah. Thank you, Eagles, for helping me commentate, and thank you, chat, for showing up. So I think that's it. We're going to call it now, and have a wonderful night, everyone. Don't forget to follow all of the runners.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you, Jay Tomer, for the opportunity to commentate.
Woohoo.